Now at 9, investigations underway after a body was found along the Will Rogers Turnpike.
Homeland Security is going to fill in portions of the southern border wall as migrant numbers are at historic highs. I'm Lauren Blanchard in Washington with more on why the administration insists this is not a policy change.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jordan Abby. Authorities are investigating after a body was found along the Will Rogers Turnpike in Ottawa County, Oklahoma. This is a look at the scene this afternoon, roughly 10 miles northeast of the Miami exit. Oklahoma Highway Patrol and the Quapaw Nation Marshal Service are investigating. Details are few right now. We're going to keep you updated on our website, also the KOM News app, as we learn more details. Jackpot police are investigating a shooting that took place late last night. At 11:23 p.m. last night, JPD received a report of gunshots in the area of C Street and North Wall Avenue. When officers arrived, they found spent shell casings near an alley and the victim, who was not injured. The victim says he was on a bike being followed by a car when the car bumped into him, knocked him off before shooting him. No arrests have been made at this time. Well, K9 for Cops is spreading some positivity. The organization that specializes in providing K9s to police departments across America was in southeast Kansas today. KOAM's Segun Bamanelli has more on the story.
K9 for Cops is on the road as the organization that specializes in providing K9 to police departments across America is in Persons, Kansas today, thanking the Persons Police Department for their work.
And we are going to all of our departments in the Midwest and thanking them, thanking for everything they do for their communities, for community relations, for keeping their departments and their cities crime-free and their schools safe.
Sheila is the founder of K9 for Cops.
After Sandy Hook, I thought that there was a need that we could put K9s in schools with school resource officers. And K9s for Kids was born, and now we're in over 29 schools and universities.
The chief tells me how K9 for Cops has been an helpful organization to the police department, and also how the K9s have been helping to keep schools and students safe.
You know, with detection by the K9s, and also that marketing program is also designed to make sure that students are well aware that drugs are not allowed on any of the school campuses.
The chief also says he is thankful for the work the organization is doing in different communities around the country.
I'll give a little bit of thanks for their helping our agency develop, I think now, a very active and involved narcotics canine and detection program.
In person, Segun Bamanelli, KOM News.
K9 for Cops has given dogs to more than 300 departments nationally. Those dogs have removed more than $2.5 billion worth of drugs off the streets. Local law office is celebrating 20 years in business, so they decided to donate $20,000. The law offices of Johnson, Voorhees, and Martucci today hosted a ceremony where they divided that $20,000 up between 4 local organizations. $5,000 went to the Lafayette House, $2,500 to the Alliance of Southwest Missouri, $10,000 to Building Bridges, and $2,500 to the Children's Center.
It doesn't feel like 20 years. It feels awesome. It feels amazing. It feels like we're just getting started. But looking back, we can see all these people that we've helped, a lot of these relationships that we've built. It's really fantastic to be able to stand here and look at this community and know we've helped make it a little better and help some people's lives a little better. So it's fantastic.
Now, the amounts for each organization were determined by the guests at the ceremony. Missouri American Water is celebrating the completion of water pipe replacement project in North Joplin. The multi-phase project began back in 2019. About 4.5 miles of 2-inch water pipe was replaced with 8-inch pipe. Officials say the upgrade is going to supply about 9.5 times more water to the area, improving both water system reliability and fire protection. The replacement project was funded by the Federal Water Sewer Infrastructure Replacement Act. Survey USA recently conducted a poll in Missouri, timing with the upcoming August primary election. KOAM is partnering with other TV stations in Missouri to report on these series of polls. And tonight, we'll get some questions that focused on national and local politics. Close to 20,000 registered voters were asked again by Survey USA if former President Trump runs again for president in 2024, and if President Biden runs for re-election, who would you vote for? 2 months ago in the survey, Donald Trump won by 15%, as it was when voters went to the polls in 2020. Today, the answer is almost exactly the same, Mr. Trump by 16%. There's more of a drift, though, when looking at demographics. 56% of male survey participants would vote for Donald Trump, compared to 46% of females. 31% of men would vote for President Biden, compared to 39% of females. Survey participants were asked if they approve or disapprove of the job President Biden is doing as president. 9% strongly approve, 50% strongly disapprove. 26% of Democrats strongly approve, while 83% of Republicans strongly disapprove. Survey participants were also asked about more local politics. Close to 20,000 registered voters were asked if they approve or disapprove of the job Mike Parson is doing as governor. Overall, 13% strongly approve, 33% somewhat approve, 20% somewhat disapprove, 22% strongly disapprove, and 12% are not sure. You can visit our website, komnewsnow.com, for more data on these particular polls as well as previous questions. Hey, be sure to download the KOM News app for all your election needs. You can also go to our website for election information at komnewsnow.com/elections. The website includes resources for all of the four-state areas, such as polling places. You can even check to see if you're registered to vote. Once again, that's komnewsnow.com/elections. Before President Biden took office, he said his administration would not construct, quote, another foot of the border wall. In an unexpected move, though, the White House announced they would be filling in some holes. But as Fox News correspondent Lauren Blanchard explains from Washington, the administration says it's not what you may think.
The Biden administration wants Customs and Border Protection to fill in 4 gaps of the border wall in Arizona.
We are trying to save lives.
Homeland Security says those gaps are close to the Colorado River, where it's become dangerous for immigrants trying to cross and Border Patrol trying to apprehend them. But the White House is adamant they are not changing their policies.
We're not finishing the wall. We are cleaning up the mess the prior administration left behind in their failed attempt to build a wall.
This is just crazy to me. They have never cared about securing the border.
Customs and Border Protection reports 1.7 million migrants have been encountered since October. In June alone, 207,000 encounters, almost double the number of just 3 years ago.
Because of their actions, every single community in America is now a border city. This is a national crisis.
Buses of migrants have been arriving in the nation's capital, sent there from the southern border by Republican politicians, and left to sleep outside in many cases. D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser is asking the Department of Defense to send in the National Guard to help.
We continue to be very focused on having the federal government do its part and take the lead in addressing what we see as a growing humanitarian crisis.
The Pentagon says they have received Mayor Bowser's National Guard request and will make their decision soon. In Washington, Lauren Blanchard, Fox News.
KOM News at 9 on Fox 14 takes us time to honor another four-state hero. James Thornberry served in the U.S. Air Force from 1942 to 46. Native of Joplin, Thornberry received several awards. We are proud to thank and salute Corporal James Thornberry. He's tonight's four-state hero. Meteorologist Doug Heddy's next with a complete look at the forecast. A bit later, a former local high school standout aiming for a big senior season for Pitt State football. Details in sports.
Well, it turned out to be another fairly hot day for us today, right around 90 degrees for an afternoon high. And then we actually cooled a bit as we went into the afternoon as we got some clouds and a couple random little showers across the region, but it looks okay right now. Most of us are dry. There are a few isolated little guys, but near 90 yesterday, right around 90 today, but a lot better than what we had earlier this week when we had triple-digit heat across the region. Let's go outside. We'll take a look. 77 in Carthage, 73 in Anderson, Grove at 72. We have 78 in Chautauqua, Yates Center 73, Nevada at 72 degrees. And our dew points measure how much moisture is in the lower levels of the atmosphere at the surface. They're pretty good. If you look at our dew point tracker, upper 50s to near 60, so we're kind of in that pleasant to not too shabby range outside. 77 northerly winds 5 to 10, humidity at 54%. Most of the day has been fairly dry. We've had a few isolated little showers, and over the past couple hours, a couple little thunderstorms have popped up, mainly just to our east, south of Springfield. One little guy right on top of Grand Lake, but besides that, we're fairly quiet for now. We do have a complex of showers and thunderstorms kind of getting going out across the panhandles of Oklahoma and Texas, and that will eventually give us some scattered showers and thunderstorms late tonight and into the morning hours for us tomorrow. So let's go through time. The next few hours, just isolated hit and miss little guys. Picking up a little bit, here's 5:30 in the morning. As we go through the morning hours, scattered showers and thunderstorms. So we should have a wet start for most of us. This is going to be a little bit more widespread than what we've seen over the past couple days, but bands of showers, thunderstorms working through, and then most of this should be gone by the time we head into the afternoon. We can't rule out an isolated shower or two as we get into the afternoon hours, but most of the rain in the morning, and we need it. 74 by noon, high temp right around 80, so temperatures are going to feel pretty good. Tomorrow night, we'll start to see some isolated little thunderstorms trying to increase again, especially as we head towards Sunday morning. Another band of showers and a few scattered thunderstorms. With both of these bands, the heaviest is going to be in our far southern counties and getting a little bit lighter as you go toward the north. By the time we get into Sunday afternoon, partly sunny skies, we start to heat back up as we go into the upper 80s for highs. All right, rainfall, it's kind of hard to pinpoint because it is going to be scattered. Heaviest in our southern counties, but I'm really hoping most of us can pick up a quarter to a half an inch of rain as we go through the next 2 days. All right, 80 on Saturday, 87 on Sunday, 96 though, Monday, 100 again on Tuesday as the triple-digit heat returns. Jordan?
Doug, thank you. There might be fewer treats for trick-or-treaters this Halloween. Hershey's CEO warning it will not be able to fully meet consumer demand. The chocolate company says supply chain issues and a shortage of certain ingredients are to blame. The pandemic and Russia's invasion of Ukraine also hurt production. Demand for sweets remains high during the non-holiday period, but Hershey says it just can't ramp up production because it uses the same manufacturing lines during the holiday season. CEO says the company wants to prioritize, quote, everyday on-shelf availability. Coming up, more deaths from flooding.
Search teams look for anyone left after Kentucky's devastating floods. I'm Max Gordon in Hindman, Kentucky. All of the latest coming up.
Kansas Supreme Court today ruling that self-defense protections don't apply if a bystander is injured during the whole incident. The court ruled in case of a Wichita police officer whose shots at a charging dog wounded a 9-year-old girl. Now, the officer argued he acted in self-defense, but Supreme Court Justice Dan Biles said Kansas law grants immunity from prosecution for force used specifically against an attacker and doesn't mention bystanders. People in Kentucky bracing for more rain just one day after devastating floods swept through part of the state. Officials there saying it could be a long road to rebuild. Fox weather correspondent Max Gordon has more.
Search and rescue teams working across Kentucky Friday looking for anyone still missing in floodwaters. At least 16 people have died, some of them children, and more fatalities are expected. Thursday's heavy rain sent many people fleeing to safety. Kentucky officials say hundreds of boat and aerial rescues have already taken place. FEMA, as well as neighboring states, are providing resources to help with those efforts.
If there are additional resources that are needed for these life-saving missions, we will continue to bring in those resources.
Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear says mudslides and flooding blocked more than 24 roads in the region, making it difficult for first responders to reach hard-hit areas. Crews are working around the clock to regain access.
We have bridge inspectors and engineers in the field, but we're unable to even get to some of these roadways. It is so bad. Crews are still hard at work clearing as much mud and debris as they can.
On Friday, President Biden signed a disaster declaration for Kentucky, which will free up federal funding for recovery efforts. Local officials say more than 200 people have sought shelter, and for many, it will be a long road to rebuild. In some areas, water rushed into homes and wiped out entire communities.
It came down so hard and so fast, that's why you probably got all the water, had nowhere to go.
Forecasters say flash flooding remains a concern with more rain expected over the weekend. In Hindman, Kentucky, Max Gordon, Fox Weather.
Still ahead, China saying things could get much worse.
For House Speaker Nancy Pelosi amid plans to visit Taiwan within a matter of days. I'm Mark Meredith in Washington. I'll have the latest coming up.
Dialysis can benefit seniors both physically and emotionally. A new study shows older adults with advanced kidney disease often experienced mental health issues in the year before starting treatment, but stabilized after they began. So doctors say dialysis can substantially help people improve their quality of life in many different ways. Engineers at MIT are developing a sticker that can see inside the body, sort of. The stamp-sized device would adhere to the skin and provide continuous ultrasound imaging of internal organs for 48 hours. The stickers could one day be an alternative to some expensive ultrasound testing in hospitals and clinics. People who don't sleep well at night and take prolonged daytime naps could be at an increased risk of fatty liver disease. New research finds for people with sedentary lifestyles, even a moderate improvement in sleep quality was linked to a 29% reduction in the risk for fatty liver disease. Heated rhetoric coming from the Chinese government a day after President Biden spoke with the country's president. Beijing strongly disapproving of a potential visit by House Speaker Nancy Pelosi to the island of Taiwan next week. Fox News correspondent Mark Meredith has reaction from D.C.
New reaction from the Chinese government surrounding tensions with Taiwan. A spokesperson says a potential visit by House Speaker Nancy Pelosi to the island would challenge the country's red line and would be met with, quote, resolute countermeasures. U.S. military and national security officials are increasingly concerned about China's aggressive actions in the region.
I think that Speaker Pelosi's trip is very dangerous for us. This is a self-inflicted wound. This should not have been leaked to the media, and I'm worried that they'll use it against us as a chance to show that they have the upper hand.
Speaker Pelosi initially made plans to travel to Taiwan back in April, but canceled after testing positive for COVID-19. She's now expected to lead a congressional delegation to several Asian countries starting today.
I don't ever talk about my travel because, as some of you know, it's a security issue. It's a security issue for every member of Congress traveling, especially abroad.
Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle mostly agree on the threat China poses as a global competitor. This week, a bill to boost semiconductor production in the U.S. passed with bipartisan support. Supporters say the measure will make the U.S. less reliant on China for manufacturing.
It is dangerous to be relying on the Chinese Communist Party and other actors around the world for something so central to American national security.
Critics of the legislation argue it amounts to corporate welfare and are criticizing the hefty price tag of the bill of more than $200 billion. In Washington, Mark Meredith, Fox News.
Next, going to check out a really expensive dinosaur skeleton recently sold in an auction. A finished skeleton of a Gorgosaurus dinosaur sold for more than $6 million at Sotheby's last night. That makes a skeleton of the dinosaur that roamed the earth some 76 million years ago, scientists say, the most valuable ever sold at auction. It's nearly 10 feet tall, 22 feet long, was found in 2018 in Montana. The Gorgosaurus is a close but somewhat smaller relative of the T-Rex. All right, just a reminder here, the Mega Millions drawing is tonight. I think they're going to announce the numbers at 10. I think. Don't hold me to it, okay? Lottery jackpot has now hit $1.1 billion. That's billion with a B, and your chances of winning around 1 in 302.5 million. So you do have a chance. You do have a chance. And share your money with me, okay? 30 more minutes, news, weather, and sports coming away. You're going to see some of the fun things going on in Columbus for the Cherokee County Fair.
More cities and states are sounding the alarm about the growing monkeypox outbreak. I'm Jonathan Seri in Atlanta. I'll have details coming up.
Cherokee County Fair in Columbus, Kansas is 4 days now into all the fun. KOM's Yana Hatzal was there for the experience.
The 94th Annual Cherokee County Fair is underway. Fair Secretary Brad Wells says it's been bustling with people, from daytime events to the nighttime carnival.
Fairs are a great time for people to come and see what the world of agriculture is all about and go through the barns and go through the different exhibits and see things and just know that it's an awesome career and people can get involved. Even if you've not grown up in it, there's so many opportunities.
He says the best part of the fair is seeing children experience the fun.
There's nothing like watching the kids come and enjoy the fair, especially young kids, and enjoy it for the first time.
There are animal shows and engines revving, for the tractor obstacle course to see who can pass the course the fastest.
We've done that for several years. The tractors, they're a lot of fun. It's something that the 4-H'ers and the FFA'ers work so hard throughout the week. They have a break this morning, so we wanted something fun to do. So the obstacle course was the way to kind of make that happen. And so some of the guys got together and had done a great job. It's a lot of fun.
13-year-old Shade Schuberger enjoyed the competition.
Try and fit through this little area without hitting the cone with my trailer or jackknife it. Well, I feel like I did all right. Not that good though.
He says he's ready to get his learner's permit to perfect tractor skills himself.
You like be able to dodge stuff and be able to back better and just like know when to go, what speed and how fast to go, and just know how to be able to miss things without.
In Columbus, Janna Haudala, KOAM News.
Shade, young man, you did an awesome job. The community is invited to watch and participate in tomorrow evening's Livestock Auction. Starts at 7 p.m. 4-H members are going to show off and sell the market animals they've been raising for the past year. Some local middle schoolers are celebrating today. The students graduated from the Compass Academy Network Enrichment Program in a ceremony held at Joplin's Thomas Jefferson Independent Day School. The summer program is free. It helps middle school students from all over the area develop skills and a personal vision for their academic future. Today, the graduates received awards and a gift certificate for school supplies.
For the past 4 weeks, I got to meet kids from other schools, meet new teachers, learn just a whole bunch of new stuff, and today we graduated.
This is Compass's 4th year offering the summer enrichment program. First of the new monkeypox vaccine shipments are underway to at-risk communities, but some cities and states are already saying it's just too little too late. Fox News correspondent Jonathan Siri has more from Atlanta.
It's the last thing most of us wanted to hear. Health officials scrambling to contain another viral outbreak. The CDC says there are now more than 21,000 confirmed cases of monkeypox in 71 countries. Almost 5,000 are here in the U.S., prompting some cities and states to ramp up their response. In San Francisco, the mayor declared a public health emergency on Thursday, asking the feds for more vaccines as the spread continues.
We want to prevent the numbers from increasing. We have a solution in the vaccines.
It's a similar situation in New York, where state officials declared an imminent threat to public health, freeing up more resources to fight the outbreak. The White House also says about 800,000 doses are now on their way to at-risk communities. But New York City's mayor claims so far those shots have not gotten where they're needed the most.
All of the vaccines that we have and all of the appointments are out. We're continuing to send a clear message to Washington and to the state.
The outbreak has been largely concentrated among gay men, prompting some activists to question if that played a role in what they call a slow response. Community leaders now urging state and local officials to stop the spread before it's too late.
Unfortunately, we're just not focused in this country on prevention. We don't get ahead of things when we know things are coming.
Most officials say while they're committed to ending the outbreak, there are no plans for COVID-style restrictions at this time. In Atlanta, Jonathan Siri, Fox News.
A bit later, boats in the air.
Flying boats are set to change the way we travel. I'm Ashley Strohmeyer with a look at the sustainable craft promising to get you to your next coastal destination faster than an airplane coming up.
Well, it turned out to be another fairly hot day for us today, right around 90 degrees for an afternoon high. And then we actually cooled a bit as we went into the afternoon, as we got some clouds and a couple random little showers across the region, but it looks okay right now. Most of us are dry. There are a few isolated little guys, but near 90 yesterday, right around 90 today, but a lot better than what we had earlier this week when we had triple-digit heat across the region. Let's go outside. We'll take a look. 77 in Carthage, 73 in Anderson, Grove at 72. We have 78 in Chatopa, Yates Center 73, Nevada at 72 degrees. And our dew points measure how much moisture is in the lower levels of the atmosphere at the surface. They're pretty good. If you look at our dew point tracker, upper 50s to near 60, so we're kind of in that pleasant to not too shabby range outside. 77 northerly winds 5 to 10, humidity at 54%. Most of the day has been fairly dry. We've had a few isolated little showers, and over the past couple hours, a couple little thunderstorms have popped up, mainly just to our east, south of Springfield. One little guy right on top of Grand Lake, but besides that, we're fairly quiet for now. We do have a complex of showers and thunderstorms kind of getting going out across the panhandles of Oklahoma and Texas, and that will eventually give us some scattered showers and thunderstorms late tonight and into the morning hours for us tomorrow. So let's go through time. The next few hours, just isolated hit and miss little guys. Picking up a little bit, here's 5:30 in the morning. As we go through the morning hours, scattered showers and thunderstorms. So we should have a wet start for most of us. This is going to be a little bit more widespread than what we've seen over the past couple days, but bands of showers, thunderstorms working through, and then most of this should be gone by the time we head into the afternoon. We can't rule out an isolated shower or two as we get into the afternoon hours, but most of the rain in the morning, and we need it. 74 by noon, high temp right around 80, so temperatures are going to feel pretty good. Tomorrow night, we'll start to see some isolated little thunderstorms trying to increase again, especially as we head towards Sunday morning. Another band of showers and a few scattered thunderstorms. With both of these bands, the heaviest is going to be in our far southern counties and getting a little bit lighter as you go toward the north. By the time we get into Sunday afternoon, partly sunny skies, we start to heat back up as we go into the upper 80s for highs. All right, rainfall, it's kind of hard to pinpoint because it is going to be scattered, heaviest in our southern counties, but I'm really hoping most of us can pick up a quarter to a half an inch of rain as we go through the next 2 days. All right, 80 on Saturday, 87 on Sunday, 96 though, Monday 100 again on Tuesday as the triple-digit heat returns. Jordan?
Doug, thanks again. The Kremlin is warning negotiations need to be without fanfare on President Biden's offer to give back a notorious arms dealer in exchange for Americans Brittany Griner and Paul Whelan. Fox News senior foreign affairs correspondent Greg Pelcott has the latest.
Russian officials confirming today an offer has been made by the U.S. to swap WNBA star Griner and former Marine Whelan for, reportedly, Russian weapons trader Viktor Bout, but didn't say how close the two sides are, even whether talks between Russian Foreign Minister Lavrov and Secretary of State Blinken, proposed by Blinken, will happen. They did complain the U.S. was talking too much.
Such issues are discussed without any such release of information. Normally, the public learns about it when the agreements are already implemented.
In fact, this proposal has been an offer for weeks now. The U.S. trying to pressure Russian President Putin to end what it brands wrongful detention.
This is a horrifying practice that puts lives in the balance, and in cases it calls for extraordinary tactics and measures.
Amid more complaints about the U.S. giving up Bout, the so-called merchant of death had dealings with dictators, rebels, and militias around the world, including reportedly the Taliban. Some say this deal sets a dangerous precedent.
This is not a good trade. It's not the right path forward.
Still, for supporters of Griner facing a possible 10 years in Russian prison, and Whelan just 2 years into a 16-year sentence, President Biden's dangerous deal is worth doing.
It's a hard call, and fortunately, I'm not the president of the United States. But if the president makes that difficult decision, I would absolutely support Paul's release.
Late today, the spokesperson for Russian Foreign Minister Lavrov said he would, in fact, consider Biden's request for that call when he has time. His schedule now said to be busy. Tell that to the Americans locked up. In London, Greg Palcott, Fox News.
All right. Coming up to sports, Joplin Outlaws trying to clinch their first ever Mink League championship, plus a former local high school football standout aiming to finish his college career with a big season at Pitt State. Jacob Leonard has that and more next. All right, let's face it, traveling can be rough on ourselves, our wallets, the environment, but a new line of flying boats is expected to be a real game changer, offering faster, cheaper, and climate-friendly coastal flights. Fox News correspondent Ashley Strohmeyer has an interesting, exciting look.
What do you get when you cross a ferry with an airplane? A new mode of transportation promising to revolutionize the way we travel.
They are for high-speed, low-cost, totally sustainable regional transportation.
Boston-based company Regent unveiling the Sea Glider, a fully electric flying boat designed to get passengers to their coastal destinations quicker, with less hassle, and doing it all without harming the environment.
6 to 10 times faster than ferries and half the cost of an aircraft. And it beats the door-to-door time on both and completely eliminates emissions.
The Sea Glider features hydrofoils, a type of underwater wing that lifts its hull out of the water, ensuring a fast and smooth takeoff, even in choppy waves.
These hydrofoils give us this high degree of wave tolerance, up to 5 feet of wave tolerance in harbors, which is basically a hurricane in most harbors.
Once in the air, the craft flies at extremely low altitudes, allowing it to reach speeds up to 180 miles per hour. And because it'll be stationed at docks instead of airports, company officials say it can eliminate the extra travel time associated with traditional flights.
You're traveling to the airport, you're waiting in security, even boarding can take a half hour, and deboarding.
Using the current batteries on the market, the early models will be able to fly routes up to 180 miles, with 500-mile trips expected in the future. So far, officials at Regent have received orders for roughly 400 Sea Gliders. The first version, called Viceroy, will carry 12 passengers, with commercial flights expected to start in 2025. Ashley Strohmeyer, Fox News.
Coming up, a look at some box office numbers showing people are back in those theaters for entertainment. The box office is back with big numbers, and moviegoers are back at the theater for both blockbusters and independent films. Here's Fox's Ashley Dvorkin with the latest from Hollywood.
You're gonna come back. You ready?
A strong summer box office continues with Nope.
Nope just had the second biggest opening of all time for an original R-rated horror movie domestically. The number one film on that list is another Jordan Peele movie. It is Us. If you look at that $44 million opening and you match it up against other films like that came out recently that are driven by the director, Nope outperformed the last Michael Bay movie, the last Steven Spielberg movie, the last Quentin Tarantino movie.
Top Gun Maverick keeps marking milestones.
It's approaching $1.3 billion globally. It is Paramount's biggest film that they've ever had. Of all of these movies that have come out during the COVID era, I think this one is the most significant in terms of bringing people back to the movies.
Minions: The Rise of had a great debut.
That Minions movie opened to over $100 million. And so that really does go to show that families are coming back to the movies. Maybe they're coming back to the movies for the films that their kids are obsessed with.
Small movies are big successes, like Marcel the Shell with Shoes On and Everything Everywhere All at Once.
The success of that film, biggest film ever for A24, that really did fuel this desire in audiences to start seeking out that independent fare in between the blockbusters. They're selling out the theaters that they're in. All of it, I think, combines to prove that the box office is back and that movie going is back, and it's not going anywhere anytime soon.
So what happens next?
In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
It's back. That's our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. Going to leave you with a video of a hot air balloon festival in New Jersey. Have a great, safe weekend. Do this all again tomorrow. See you then.